Welcome back to Yankee Central. This is David. This is my fledgling YouTube channel that I hope to grow someday. It's Baseball Central for Yankees and Yankee fans alike. We're going to go over the series that we just finished with the Red Sox, even though it was very brief because a rainout happened. But they lost the first one, and the second one was rained out. Doubleheader scheduled in August. Third game, which is now the second game. Very interesting. Very interesting, to say the least. They were very lackluster in approach at the plate. Jazz Chisholm was just unreal. And then he woke up at the end. Go figure. But anyway, let's play some highlights. I don't think this would be an issue, but we can play some highlights.
One game here at the ballpark, the Yankee Stadium. I'd love to get a tally on the board, tally a few on the board here.
Driven deep to right field. Going back Abreu on the
Yeah, wasn't Willie until the 8th inning.
A home run for Bellinger, and the Yankees lead 2-1. Well, Cody Bellinger.
And then you see, like, Bellinger's home run. But prior to that, pretty much everybody was just swinging. I wouldn't say everybody. Jazz Chisholm was swinging at everything. It wasn't until he had I think it was a hanger, and he just sent it to right field for a home run. And that's, of course, after we had the lead. So it's like they wake up when we can pad the lead a little bit. But until then, nah, they can't do shit. But anyway, we'll talk more about that. But we'll also talk about, yeah, this is where the bloop and the blast comes in. And we got, of course, Trent Grisham comes in there. We had some good stuff with Ahmad Rosario. Cabby seemed to contribute quite a bit. So it was overall a really good game. Cam Schlittler did not have his best stuff, but he managed to do a really good job. I don't know why this crap keeps coming up. But anyway, that's where we're at with that. So we can get out of that. Let's look at the Yankees' top prospects. Of course, we got Lombard here. George Lombard Jr. His estimated time of arrival is next year. He is a shortstop, I believe. Or is he a third baseman now? He's definitely an infielder. That's for sure. And he's doing what, the last 10 games? Oops, no, son of a bitch. This interface is leaves something to be desired. So yeah, he's not doing all that well. He's taking his walk, so I will say that. So he's going to have a pretty decent approach at the plate. But how is that going to translate to the majors? And this guy, they just put him in the bullpen. So we'll see how that works. Because they did that to fast track him to the big leagues. And he's a real deal from what I understand. He touches top 90s and stuff. But we can go down this a little bit further. If you want me to go into the prospects a little bit more, I certainly can in a future video. But I just wanted to just run across players we might see. We got Spencer Jones, who's already in the bigs. And he did really well against Boston, especially on the June 5th game, where he seemed to come alive. I mean, we put what's his name on the DL, Judge, and we need people to step it up. One guy who I know is going to continue to step it up is this guy right here, Ben Rice. Ben Rice is the real deal. I remember when he first came up, I'm like, this guy does have a great approach at the plate. He's just a little all over the place. Hence, you saw the 171 average. The next year, he pretty much took over and won the first base job, and he's pretty much been the first baseman ever since. Pretty much took over a glaring hole that's been there for quite some time. And I think he's going to continue to hit and hit well. I think this year, obviously, Judge is going to miss significant time. He's going to miss maybe a month. 4 to 6 weeks. So you're looking at the MVP. If anybody on the Yankees is going to have a chance for it, it's going to be Ben Rice at this point. Austin Wells went on the DL. I think his days are numbered as a Yankee starting catcher. Even when he comes back, I think the Yankees are probably going to look for a permanent backup or a permanent starter, whoever. Basically, it's going to be a committee at some point because he just can't hit his way to stay in the dang lineup. It's like, it's ridiculous. It really is. It's just unfortunate. He has the ability to hit. You've seen it in the first, but they've exploited his weaknesses so much and he's not been able to adjust. I mean, if you had the guy from 229, if you could get that guy in his first 2 seasons, it's not the greatest batting average, but 229, you'll accept that. If you can get 15, 20 home runs out of him and walk enough where his OPS on-base percentage is over 300. This on-base percentage at 275, that's unacceptable. Not even for a catcher. I know people, they have a tendency to go off on people's offense more so lately, and it's like, I remember a time when you had a shortstop hitting 220, and that was an acceptable thing back in the 80s. It wasn't unheard of for a shortstop to hit 220, and you accepted that because of their defense. That was the whole thing with Volpe. If Volpe can have good defense, I'm more than happy to accept an offense. But sometimes his defense is, a little wonky. Makes you wonder where his head's at. But he's holding his own. But how much is he going to improve is beyond me, because he hasn't improved much with the bat. His batting stance has changed. His approach is better. But overall, the hitting is where it's at. If you can't at least hit 220 or 230 to justify being a Yankee shortstop, then I don't see how you can hang on to the job. I mean, doubles power, stealing bases, if that's where his game is at, I'm perfectly fine with that. But his batting average has to be a lot better. And if he can't get on base via the base hit, then I'm getting sick of this frickin' thing. Jesus. Then he come on. What the hell? I'm getting all kinds of notifications. I gotta stop all these notifications. I'm trying to record a goddamn video here. But if he can't at least get on base with the walk and then steal bases or something, he's not going to be much of a value other than, automatic out. That's what he's become in some cases. But as we've seen, sometimes he's another guy that wakes up when we've got the lead and we're padding it. That's when he wakes up and decides he wants to hit. All right, here's what they're talking about. Brian Hoke was talking about this. Even without Judge, could have AL MVP hopes. And basically, they're using the Ben Rice argument that I just made. And it certainly leads me to believe that it could possibly be something to talk about. And of course, we talked about Wells being hurt. They brought up Sanchez. I think the Sanchez, and I've seen it bantered about on X, like, let's trade for Gary Sanchez. Why should we give up anything of any value to get Gary Sanchez back? He He's a journeyman catcher at this point. Now, if he gets released or DFA, maybe they could swing something as a desperation move. It would be a desperation on Milwaukee's part, not our part. Because if you look at Gary Sanchez, he's exactly what Wells' offense needs to be. Obviously, he needs his defense too, but Gary Sanchez, see? 200 hitter, but my God, he's got 6 home runs there. And he's walking enough that that batting average doesn't look so bad. So if we could get Gary Sanchez, yeah, absolutely. He'd be definitely a backup catcher. I don't see him as anything more than that. Maybe a DH against left-handers. And it's like we already have one of those in Paul Goldschmidt. So I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? I'm kind of on the fence about all of this crap. But anyway, we got the Yankees and Guardians coming up in a couple hours after this is going to be uploaded. And this is the matchups that they're proposing. I could almost guarantee that Spencer Jones is going to be there probably. I would think. Because it is a right-hander, Garrett Williams, and I was a little surprised about the Guardians, Indians, whatever you want to call them this week. But I'm looking forward to this matchup because I was surprised how good and balanced their offense is, even though they don't hit well, but they seem to have people that hit in the right spot and do a really good job. So it's not a total waste. Their lineup may be kind of crappy at times, but it's far better at putting runners in place and getting people home and all that stuff. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how much I'm going to watch of it, but I'm going to try to see as much as I can. I watched all of Sunday's game. It was really good against the Red Sox. It kind of sucked that we had to wait so long for an end. Seemed like it was going to be I was thinking it was going to be tied 1-1 forever and ever, and we were never going to get out of it. But no, they came back and woke the hell up, and I'm glad they did. But anyway, that's my little preview. I don't know how many videos I'm going to put up every week. I do run a YouTube channel, which is gaming or whatever. This is just another side hobby that I just want to do because I like baseball. I love baseball. And I want to continue to do these. I just don't know quite how I want to flesh the format out. We're kind of feeling that. So bear with me until we get to a point where it's more settled and I have some sort of a, in radio, you've got your certain segments that you do. I think TV's the same. Well, I'm going to flesh out that whole business eventually. But the first several videos are probably going to be like this. I'm just going to wing it. Pick up some topics. We just roll with it and see how it goes. But eventually, I'm going to have a much better grasp of exactly what I want to do. I'm so used to just jumping in and doing stuff. And that's the gaming world. That's not this world. This world, you actually have to have a little more preparation. And, I'm good with that. I can prepare with the best of them. I used to have a radio gig where we did stuff like this. So it's not out of the ordinary for me. And the good thing about this, if I screw up and cuss every once in a while, it's not a big deal. It's YouTube, whatever. As long as you're not swearing up like a sailor through the whole thing, we're good. But anyway, let me know in the comments if you like this sort of style. We probably could keep winging it for a while, or would you rather have more of a segment? I wouldn't mind having people to debate on here, but I really don't know anybody in this world that actually knows baseball as much as I do. Well, outside of that, they're doing what they should be doing, having radio shows and stuff. But me, I like to do everything like this. So with that being said, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We're hoping to grow this son of a gun. And if it grows, maybe we put a little more effort into it and do better production, all those kind of things. But we'll see next time. Let's see how this Indian series goes. We'll probably have a touch-up video, or not a touch-up video, a touch base video following the three games, or somewhere in between. Because I'm kind of thinking maybe 3 videos a week, something like that. And we could always do one video that's like a recap of the past week or something. I don't know. We're banting about exactly what we are trying to do here. Anyway, if you liked it, give a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
The Yankees win! The Yankees win! The Yankees win! The Yankees win!